Yes! Never have I celebrated a Ghanaian like now. Probably since Buwasi, actually, over the weekend. What up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gunner Eagle Eye, coming to you proudly again with a brand new video. This is a special edition of Eagle Eye, probably the last one in a weird way for this year. The Transfer Rumor Show, where I talk to you about news, not rumors today, motherfucking news to do with the Arsenal. First and foremost, you're gosh damn right I'm wearing white, looking pure as shit. Please do stick a like on this video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We are about to talk news. First things first, let's just get on with it. Arsenal, and I'm going by not our announcement video because this is Arsenal Football Club. Everywhere we'll announce it before we will. I'm going by Atletico Madrid's latest tweet, which basically confirms that Arsenal have utilized the clause and that subsequently has voided Thomas Partey's contract with the club. We've signed him. We've signed him for £45 million. We've signed, in my mind, one of the most crucial pieces to the Arsenal puzzle. Now, I know what most of you are going to say, and I would agree with you. I don't think this was anywhere near what we needed to do. And you know me, 2 days ago, and I thought rightly so, I was calling for Edu's head. Because for me, I felt like he'd failed. He'd utterly failed. Now, we can get into the nuances of where we should have strengthened, where else we should have strengthened. You know, I personally think we could have done with a right back. We could have probably done with a backup left back. We could have done with someone, maybe, you know, we could argue all day long as to what we needed. But I told you guys, one of the first things we needed to do was sell people. Unfortunately, we've not really done that. I mean, as things stand, I mean, unless I see something across that screen scrolling along that changes, from what I can see, the only person that seems to have left the club today is Matteo Guendouzi and Lucas Torreira. Lucas Torreira, that deal was confirmed maybe about 20 minutes ago on the Atletico Madrid website, that they have signed Lucas Torreira on a season loan deal. And Matteo Guendouzi has signed for Hertha Berlin on a season loan deal. In that particular case, they don't have any kind of form of obligation to buy, option to buy. It is purely a loan, much to earlier news that broke today, because there was a lot of speculation that Hertha Berlin weren't paying anything for the deal. From my understanding, that's nonsense. They have paid a fee for the deal, but we don't know what that fee is. Some people speculated that fee was in form of one of their more promising centre-backs, an 18-year-old centre-back. From my understanding, we've not signed an 18-year-old centre-back, so I don't think it's that either. But again, news is... if you see me distracted, it's because I've got Sky Sports here. I've got so many fucking tabs and windows on my screen. So I'm trying not to kind of report something different from you guys. For those people wondering why I'm come on so late, let's just say me and Lee had a misunderstanding because I thought I was supposed to come on his show, and that never happened. So I put off my show deliberately in order to accommodate it, but these things happen. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just looking through, but in any case, the important news is Arsenal have signed central midfielder Thomas Partey for £45 million. Ooh-wee. Guys, I'm gonna lie, I'm happy. I'm happy. You guys know this. I'm happy. Every week, you guys ask me, you can only sign one player. Who would it be? I said Partey. Straight off the bat, this is the guy that we need. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that with all of this comes big expectation. People are going to expect a lot now out of him. But in my personal opinion, this guy, for me, people talk about the Ndidis of the Premier League, the Kantes of the Premier League. I promise you, you put Partey right along those side of those people. And in my personal opinion, I think now that we're starting to see a dip in Kante a little bit, I think he could be the best one. Quote me, motherfucker, I don't care. I think he could be the best one. Because to me, he's so much more rounded than all of those guys, bar Kante, maybe. When Kante's at his best. You know, I think, you know, it's not often I'll put like a Ghanaian over a Nigerian, but loads of people are saying, what, so you wouldn't have Ndidi over him? Nope. I think he's much better than Ndidi, if you want me to be real. I think Ndidi can get better. I think you could see that Leicester are missing him with the sort of goals that they're conceding. But I think what Ndidi is very good at doing is he's very good at intercepting the ball, tracking the ball, and that's more or less it. Partey actually does all of that, and he's quite good at just starting moves. He's the kind of guy that will break up play, and then think, right, I'm just going to start running with the ball because fuck it. Who's taking the ball off me? You know? Really good passer of the ball. I disagree with some ITKs. Like I heard Graham Hunter talk about the fact that he's fast. I don't think he's that fast. But I think he's a really good tackler, tremendous awareness, good pass of the ball, can pass long range, short range, excellent team player, got so much power. This is not a guy that's just going to get brushed off the ball. I think the Premier League will be a bit of a shock to him because obviously he's been in Spain a long time. But African steel is made, we're made differently, you know. West African steel is made differently, you know. So I think he'll get used to it pretty quickly. I think he'll adapt pretty quickly. And, you know, I think we have to give the props to the AFC Bell. Man, I must admit, the only person that has followed this story for longer than me is the AFC Bell. AFC Bell has been stating for months that we will get this deal done. Months. He's been completely unwavered that he was certain that we get this deal done. Yeah, and I know probably some of you expected me to say Max. This guy was more sure than Max for months that we'll get this deal done. I never understood why. And then all of a sudden today, it was ITK war on Twitter. It was so interesting because you had, on the one hand, you had Fabrizio, who in a lot of people's mind has the title for the ITK know-it-all kind of title, if you like. And he came out flat out and said, well, there's no negotiation with Atletico Madrid. Nothing has happened. There's been no bid. But as people rightly said, there doesn't need to be a negotiation if you trigger the release clause. The club ain't got fuck all to do with it. They're helpless. And that's exactly what happened. And in terms of release clause in Spain, it's more kind of like, it's more real legal and cold over there. Like, for example, if there's a release clause in England, you still approach the club, you still formally make the bid that's in the contract. Whereas in Spain, my belief is, I saw people saying that they give the money to the player. You don't. You contact La Liga, and then you deposit money. I think it's between them and the player's agent. You deposit money, the money utilized to release him from the clause, to release him from his contract. You deposit it with them. Then La Liga contact the club, and they say, "Listen, Arsenal's intention is to release this clause. They've deposited the money. Here you go," basically. And that's basically what's happened. So much so, I only tell you all this because Diego Simeone is pissed because obviously he was making plans. Even in spite of the fact that he signed Torreria, he was making plans with Torreira, him, and the team. And they were going to try and see if they can kind of rotate it. And they're making a lot of plans because Diego Simeone still rates this guy. This is not a case of, they've been bluffing this entire time. Diego Simeone couldn't wait to get rid. He wanted him. Oh, I don't know how we've got him. Because I remember when I first brought up this story in April, I remember Omar. Where's Omar at? Is he in the chat room? Omar was one of the first people to say, bullshit, Chris. Why are you even bringing this to the table? Why would he leave Atletico Madrid? Right? And by large part, and this is where somebody tried to call me out on this earlier, the logic of Omar was sound. Why would someone leave a Champions League team to come to our bum asses? That made no sense. But as I kept reiterating to you, there's one part of the story I didn't know about. I know that Arsenal is a big deal in Africa. I know they are. So regardless of what you lot think about Arsenal is still seen as a big deal in Africa, rightly or wrongly. So the prestige and the idea of coming to Arsenal for Africans, as soon as I saw the Daz quote, I thought, okay, there's something in this. As soon as I saw the Daz quote, when that story initially came out, then him and his agency initially tried to deny it, didn't they? And then they tried to play the field a little bit just to confuse people. And then the dad flat out said, well, fuck, I'll tell you straight. I want him to join Arsenal. I want him to join Arsenal. Straight up. I'm messing around out here. I want him to join Arsenal. And that's why I always felt, okay, it was possible. When people kept asking me, okay, what are the chances, Chig, that you honestly think that this deal will happen? And I said, you know what? I don't think it's dead. I don't think it's dead, but I think it could take a long time to complete. And man, the saga dragged out. And normally when Arsenal have a saga like this, we never ever see it through. We never see it through. So that was why in my mind, I was kind of like, we're going to lose this motherfucker, aren't we? We're going to lose this motherfucker, aren't we? And then probably the last 2 to 3 weeks, it's been dead quiet with the Partey thing because we've been distracted with Aouar. And I think Aouar is another one. Remember, I had a list of certain players who I felt would make an instant difference to this team. I think Aouar was second on my list. This is a player that I rate highly, technically excellent, does have some naivety to his game that I think actually, if you were a decent coach, you should be able to improve it and get the best out of him, right? So I felt like if he could come to Arsenal, and maybe if Arteta's this big deal like people say he is, then we may be able to improve him to the point that he becomes an asset for us, right? But then I never understood why people in the chat room were talking about, oh, but they would rather Aouar than Partey. And I'm like, okay, you guys clearly don't know what type of player Partey is. Because if you see the way we defend, you'll understand why we need Partey. And don't get me wrong, I don't think he's going to dry up every single goal we have. Because quite frankly, we still have players like Granit Xhaka. We still have players like Hector Bellerin. I don't give a damn if this gets me heat. We still have players like Bernd Leno, who is prone to a mistake. Let's just be honest, right? But at the same time, if there's one thing I wanted us to do going into this window was, first and foremost, I see the yellow ticker. I see that yellow ticker. Arsenal signed Thomas Partey. Mwah! Woo! Yes. Sorry. And big up to Alex. I see your donation, brother. Let me catch that before it goes off the screen. Glad for Arsenal fan base. Partey is world-class midfielder, will be a club legend in my opinion. He'll do well in the English Premier League because West African players love football physicality. Fantastic transaction. 100% agree with that, Alex. Let me highlight that. Thank you for your generous donation. I appreciate that, my guy. 100% agree with that. This is a different caliber of player. This is a different caliber of player. But I never thought the deal was dead. The only time I started getting a bit unenthusiastic was when I was seeing all this attention on Aouar. And actually, when I saw that the Aouar deal fell through a couple of days ago, in my mind, I kind of thought, now can Arsenal go back in for Partey, or is this Chelsea thing serious? That was all I kept thinking. Is this Chelsea thing serious? Because if it is serious, we need to rally and go and get a summary or go and get somebody else that can play that position. And I think I had a member stream and I mentioned that I just want somebody that can play that spot. Because that spot, if you can get someone good enough, maybe it will improve. And then all this Aouar stuff started coming up, and even Max was like saying, oh, well, you know, we're definitely getting Aouar, 100%, I promise you, I'll donate to your show if we don't get Aouar. And I'm like, are we really on Aouar's nuts that much that we're prepared to ignore a world-class midfielder like Partey in order to get him? And then as time went on, it became more and more apparent that actually Arsenal probably felt the vibe in the probably felt the vibe from the Arsenal fans. Woke up this morning, saw that Gunnersaurus has lost his job, and everyone was kind of like, oh, this is some bullshit. What the fuck? People are still losing their job at Arsenal. What is going on here? But meanwhile, people are spending millions and millions of pounds. No one's losing their job. At Arsenal, people keep losing their job, and we're not spending fuck all. So we didn't really sit well with a lot of people. But then all of a sudden, AFC Bell just said, all right, I'm going to steal the march on all these motherfuckers today. AFC Bell following has literally jumped. I think it's doubled over the course of today. He made Fabrizio look stupid. I think Charles Watts quickly clocked onto him. So Charles Watts tried to ride the bandwagon a little bit. AFC Bell was the one on it. He said, all right, cool. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you something today. And obviously, if you follow him, I think he's from Jerusalem, so all his tweets are from that region. So you have to translate a lot of it. In fact, you have to translate all of it. So he just put out, Arsenal are after Partey. Arsenal have every intention of triggering Partey. And I ain't going to lie, at the time, I'm kind of like, yeah. Because I know this club. I know the way they like to flop me. So I thought, not with this guy. You're not gonna trip me up with this guy. I know they like to flop me. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, don't get excited. It's Arsenal. Don't get excited. It's Arsenal. People trying to get me excited. £300,000 a week, of course, will join Arsenal. It's not. It's £200,000 a week, Alex. I think there's a lot of discrepancy on what he's actually earning, but I'm fairly certain it's £200,000 a week, pre-tax. But thank you for your donation. So I was, in my mind, I was like, okay, don't get excited. It's all right. It's cool. You'll be fine. It's all right. If it flops, it flops. Don't worry about it. It's fine. People trying to get me excited. Then I saw Fabrizio come out and say, "Oh, there's been no bid that's come in." And in my mind, I'm like, does it work like that in Spain? And then they said that then there's been no negotiations. I was like, well, it doesn't need to be if Arsenal decided to step up. So then I started to decide. Then Fabrizio's tweet, ironically, made me think, okay. So I just come out of a meeting at work. I'm like, all right, let me look through my actual sources and see. And then I started seeing more and more encouraging stuff. I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers are going to get me. And then my friend put in his group chat exactly what I was thinking at the time. Just when I came out of this thing and I made peace with the fact that Arsenal had a shit transfer window. And don't get me wrong, I don't think they've had an amazing one since, but they've had a shit transfer window and just deal with it. This is what you're conditioned for as an Arsenal fan. I'm starting to hear good stuff. But it's Arsenal. You never know until you know. Until you see that yellow ticker across Sky Sports. Until you see them tweet it out. My friend has a policy, I shit you not, he don't believe in a signing until he sees them play twice. He has that straight policy. He don't believe in it. He don't believe it until he plays twice. Because it's Arsenal. They have that habit. Of letting you down. So in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, all right, cool. Let me not. Let me just, take it easy. Let me calm down. Let me just see what happens, because you never know. Arsenal will let you down. Just be easy, be easy, be easy. And then I see AFC Bell decided to step it up. My man said, Partey's flying out. My man said, Partey's at the training ground now. My man said, Partey has passed his first part of his medical. He's having his second part of his medical at the ground now. My man was so on point that before Atletico Madrid announced it, he tweeted out a picture of Partey's entire team having dinner. I don't know how he found out this information. Meanwhile, you got people like Ornstein trying to steal the march. Ornstein was like, oh, I'll just announce it now to make myself look good. Bruh, you weren't even in the game, so I don't even know. You might as well sit down. It was a real ITK war today on Twitter. But in the end, Arsenal have announced it. Thomas Partey is an Arsenal player. Big up to JD Powell. Now I believe we've waited to get Partey so we could try and get Aouar. We had the money the whole time. Glad it's official. Yeah, I kind of agree with this. And this is why I disagreed with TD Schiss, who's in the chat. I could see him. Big up, Max. So much. I felt like for me, it was clear it was going to be one or the other. And as soon as it became apparent that Aouar had decided to stay at Lyon, I didn't understand why there was even a debate. I mean, there was still a debate about Aouar coming until maybe 6 o'clock today, before people eventually accepted that he's not coming. I think once it became apparent, clearly we had the money for at least one of them. We decided to pay it up and obviously triggers release clause and not waste too much time. So actually, I can see obviously as an Arsenal fan, I don't want such a heart-racing day like transfer window, especially for one of our key signings. I don't mind signing someone on transfer window day if it's like an exciting teenager or something like that, but you do all your priority signings. You don't want to leave your priority signings this late in normal circumstances. So it was difficult to watch and to continuously take information and thinking to yourself, Arsenal, what are you doing? But for me, I'm so relieved. I'm so happy. I don't know about all that, Brendan, but thank you for your donation, brother. I appreciate that. And Arsenal have signed what I believe will turn out to be an excellent player. Again, thank you for your donation, Mr. Robinson. Finally replaced Big Pat. It's only taken 16 years. Do you know what I mean? For me, I'm happy that we signed him. I know that there are people that have different perspectives over their signing. Some people's immediate take is, why did Arsenal wait this long? Other people's immediate take is, all right, but what happened to our other targets? When have you ever known Arsenal to go into a transfer window and buy everything that they actually need? It never happens. The reason why I'm happy is I didn't want us to go into this transfer window and sign fucking Jorginho and then have some of you lot try and tell me why Jorginho was a good signing. That would have pissed me off. Because it's like, you lot know better. We've been here before. You know, that kind of look over there signing, as I called it, that distraction signing of, well, we signed somebody, so you should be happy. We've actually signed a priority, a key target for a key position. Do I think that it's going to lift us to fourth necessarily? I'll be honest with you guys. No, I don't. Do I still think that we'll finish eighth? I also don't think so either. And actually putting Partey in there in a crucial position at least gives us some kind of fucking option to say, all right, cool. Hopefully that doesn't mean that Granite fucking Xhaka is guaranteed to start every single game. You can't tell me that ain't progress. You cannot tell me that ain't progress. You know, even Dani Ceballos, if he's having a slap game, that he's not guaranteed to start every single game. That is all yes, I would have loved Aouar. as well. I would have loved a right back because I think Hector Bellerin is useless. I would have loved a backup left back so that we could have just let Kolasinac. Kolasinac was on some dumb shit today. Apparently, he was basically out the door and then priced himself out of a move. So, from my understanding, again, unless I missed that news, Kolasinac is still an Arsenal freaking player, which pissed me off here and now. It's like, who do you think you are, mate? Relax. You wanted to go back to Germany, didn't you? So, no, I would not. Most certainly not. Wouldn't have given it to him in July either. Yeah, I think you have to just take your wins when you could get it. So, yes, I mean, for those people who are going to ask me, I did see some of Lee's show today. I understand his passion. I understand where he was coming from. I disagreed with some of it because I think one thing you've got to say to yourself is this. For me, I was calling for Edu's head. Rightly, I felt. I felt as though, from my personal perspective, he'd failed pretty much everything, and he deserved to go on that basis. Having said all of that, has he done enough to stay in the job at least until January? For me, bare minimum. He's done it. He's done the bare minimum. The bare minimum was secure a priority signing. Ideally, secure priority signings should be the objective. So if I'm looking at it as a manager, as a manager of Edu, have you completed your objectives? I've done half of them. I'm not happy, but at least you've done something. Which means for me, it can roll over to the next window. I want to see what you do in January. I want to see what you do next year, and then reevaluate next year. Maybe I'm gassed because for me, Partey was always my number one. He was always my number one. But at the same time, I feel like he's got that job done. In the end, he had to do what Arsenal were refusing to do, which, yeah, clearly the strategy here was stupid. You know, the fact that they could have signed Partey ages ago, then focus on selling the dross. That part of things I can completely understand why there's anger. It was like, well, why if you were gonna do this entire time, why not? I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not gonna complain about the method. We know the method is shit. I'm not gonna complain about who we haven't got. We know we're not gonna get everyone because this is Arsenal. But at the same time, and what makes it worse is apparently Arteta, from my understanding, Bellerin was seriously considering leaving Arsenal and going to PSG. In the end, he didn't. And that was because Mikel Arteta convinced him, basically begged him to stay. I also don't like reading stuff like that. Not just because I don't rate Bellerin. I don't think you should have to beg anyone to stay, quite frankly. So all these things I can completely understand. But why I fundamentally disagree that we should be calling for Edu's head is that he secured a priority signing. That doesn't mean that he's doing a good job, but that does mean that he's at least achieved something that I wanted out of him. So therefore, for me, he survives until the next window. I'm not going to suddenly give this window an A. Like I heard, I'm not sure which YouTuber did it. Apparently one YouTuber said that, well, if we get Partey, it's an A. It's an A transfer window for me. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. I'll probably do another video tomorrow about rating the transfer window itself and what I honestly think that will do for our chances in the league. That will be a separate window that I cover. But I don't think it's an A transfer window. But for me, I'm so happy. And as Gary said, it's only taken us 16 years, but maybe we've gotten that much closer to replacing someone like Patrick Vieira, who I think may not be Patrick Vieira. But is there any reason that this guy can't be our version of Michael Essien? Let's find out. I'm going to quickly touch on a couple of donations before, because I don't want to rabbit on too long for you guys. Arsenal announced in Chig, check Twitter, new number 18, me. Mate, you can only take half victory. You can't take your full victory when your main focus on Sunday was Aouar. I'll give you credit in the sense that you did say we would sign Partey. 100%. I'll give you that. But you also made a big claim about Aouar. That never happened. so I'm only giving you half of that credit. But thank you for your donation, my brother. I appreciate that. Ryan and Norman, I ain't seen you in a bit. Ain't no party like a teabag party. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward to having an enforcer that will just knocking people over and I can't wait. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'll be real with you. Chig, is Partey the best CDM in the world? I think he's one of them. If you had to do a top 10, you're hating if you don't put Partey in the top 10. You are hating. Top 10 in the world. 100%. 100%. Quote me, I don't care. You guys know I don't come out with things willy-nilly. There's a reason I desperately wanted this guy. There's a reason that as much as I rated Aouar, in a heartbeat, I'd have signed a Partey over Aouar. Top 10 in the world, 100%. Mr. Rosen, thank you, brother. Your mods need to chill. What did you do first? That's the question, Connor. What did you do? Thank you, brother. I appreciate the donation. It's party time indeed. The shoot you chat. See, the mods. Don't worry about Connor. Connor's cool people. See this kind of guy. This is the kind of guy you give a timeout to. Just for the shits and giggles. Then if he comes back and behaves, then you leave him be. I won't do it, but I'm just highlighting it for future reference. I'm going to let him be salty because I think he's a rival fan. Oh, okay. Now he says something I don't like. See, so now I just block him because it's so unnecessary. Chig, imagine the scenes if Arteta plays Xhaka over him. Oh, I think he won't start against City. I think you guys need to prepare yourself for that now. I don't think he's starting against City. I'm just being real with you. I'm mentally preparing for that. Carter, now to be fair to you, judging from yesterday's stream where you gave Max a hard time, do you at least give him credit for the Partey thing? I'm going to get Max some credit now. Do you at least give him credit for that? Because you didn't think we'd sign Partey. I must confess I didn't at that time. Max is a joker. See? Just when I try and get you some credit, you say something like that. Like, oh, all right, brother. All right, brother. 3-hour extension indeed. No chance. No chance. I will do a naked twerk if it happens. This in the 3-hour extension you're talking about. Shit, Connor was defending this twat. Was that his boy? I'll monitor that. I'll monitor that. Because Archie wouldn't necessarily lie to me. Roman, got your wish. Nice to see you smiling as always. It's party time. Party time indeed. It's party time indeed. Chig, what time is the party starting? Soon come, man. Soon come. This is my lost bet for now. Thank you once again for your donations, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you. Or your lost bet, of course. Here we go. Look. Max, I've got you your credit. Chig, Max gets credit. I hold my hands up for Partey, but Aouar is suspect. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, guys, I had a member stream with these two on, right? By the way, I am never having on 8 people again because I showed these lot more attention than some of the earlier guys. It's the reason I have like 2 or 3 people on at a time. And Carter and Max were having just this husband and wife battle on the stream. It was hilarious to watch. So, yeah. Connor says he's actually chatting crude, mate. Waffler. Who? What is happening? Come on, guys. Get on. Can we all get along? Hi, Joanne. Hello, Chig. Are we having a party then? We're having a party, girl. We're having a party. I'm looking for my Martel. That's what I'm looking for. Have faith. Aouar's coming. Roman. No, man. Ramon. Sorry, Roman. Ramon. No, brother. You're more sensible than this. You are more sensible than this. I know you're not believing that trash as well. I know where it comes from because I think Leon had a deal that fell through. I think it was Jeff that fell through. So there's this belief that maybe they would have to rally back and try and get Arsenal's attention for a while. But yeah, I think that's bullshit now. It's been put to bed now. It's been put to bed. Chig's definitely lost that bet to Lee. What, the Eddie versus... Oh, you lot are gassed from one game, man. One game. I don't even rate Eddie like that, but it's been one game. Just watch what happens. I like Lee getting hyped because then I can snatch it out of his fist as soon as I win the bet. No, and I'll be cocky as fuck. I'll straight up. We all have our problems, Chick. Chick, can we continue to sell the Deadwood? The window closes until the 16th. Well, that's the thing. It closes domestically on the 16th. I don't know. I mean, unless Mustafi and co decide to go domestically, and I can't see that happening. I doubt we'll see. I think it's more likely we'll see the likes of Reece Nelson probably leaving. Maybe Emil Smith-Rowe. I would like to keep Emil Smith-Rowe. I'd let someone like Joe Willock go on loan if it was up to me. That'd be what I would do. So, yeah. Archie, I trust your judgment because I think you have a better gauge on that situation than most. So if you feel like he's messing around, do what you got to do, I would say. Max positivity is spreading, is contagious. No, you only got Ramon, and I'm surprised in Ramon. Eddie is not outscoring Wilkins. Ben, let's see, bruv. The only reason I've said it is not because I think Eddie's better. I want to make that nice and clear for people. Lee made the mistake of saying all competitions versus what my man would do in the league. And I said, well, you're a joker because just for sheer opportunity, Eddie will have like double the opportunity to play. He goes, all right, cool, then make the bet. He's 3 ahead. All right, cool. Let him be 3 ahead. Watch what happens, is all I'm going to say. You were doing a great job. It's always late, crazy, magnificent signing. It is a magnificent signing. I'm real happy. Hold on. Why do they always come late? They always come late. Chig, who will be Partey's partner for me, it'd be Ceballos. It would be Ceballos. I guess it really depends, doesn't it? So if you keep forward back, then potentially you can move Ceballos to a number 10 spot, which I wouldn't do. I don't think he's suited for it. And then you can play your beloved Granit Xhaka next to Partey. What I'm more likely to do is I would have Ceballos and Partey at the base, and I would have either Willian or Saka in that spot. That's what I would personally do. And just because I think those guys are a little bit more attack-minded and dynamic than a Ceballos is. Chig, when is the next member stream? Make it an invite only and ask people to message you prior. Oh, I will do. I will do, because I think yesterday taught me a couple of lessons about what I should have done versus what happened. So you're right. I will change the way I do that moving forward, for sure. For example, if it's just you and Max, I ain't having anyone else on. You guys will fill the dialogue all by yourselves. So yeah. I trust Archie in that situation. Let him do what he's got to do. Hello, Angelina. Randomly saying Ozil. I believe that we'll play Xhaka as a creative 1 in a 3 with Partey holding. Let me tell you something, Overplan. I'm telling you this right now, not just because I don't rate Xhaka. Partey is a more creative midfielder. 100%. And I'm not even exaggerating. 100%. Chip, who do you rate more, Kolasinac or Tierney? I personally think Kolasinac is just as good. Block City Wars Guide. As much as I love the name, you are on crack if you think that they are the same level of quality. No fucking chance. No chance. What player would you like from the Championship? Aaron's? I still want Bellerin to go. I don't know. Aaron's. Yeah, I'm not necessarily convinced about this Benrahma guy. But obviously he's available. So if you wanted someone with a bit of a creative spark, there you go. He would make the most sense. Chig, who do you rate more? Okay, I've read that. Block City. Judah PT in the house. Big up, brother. Back to winning ways. Let me ask you guys now, straight up. You know, in terms of, I mentioned Gunnersaurus, Joanne. Gutted. I'm gutted. Now that we have Partey, honestly, even enthusiastic Max, I genuinely want to know your answers. Where do you think Arsenal will finish this season? I'm very curious, because obviously it's going to form part of my whole transfer window aftermath video tomorrow, where I'm going to talk about the whole window from the start, how it happened, the transfer rumors that we analyzed, what we signed, what we could have signed, where I think we'll be this summer, and rating the transfer window. I'll probably grade the transfer window. But let me get my opinion on you guys. Where do you think we will finish this season now that we have Thomas Partey on board? Don't worry, John. I know you did. What about our mascot? I know Lightning. Do you know what? I was genuinely upset as well. I was genuinely upset. I think he'll be back. I think it's a case of, obviously, there's no more furlough. So because there's no more furlough scheme, it's not like Arsenal can extend the furlough scheme. So I think what they've more or less probably said to him is, listen, obviously we're earning no money. There is no crowds in attendance. We don't know when the crowds are coming back. You are mainly for the crowds. Let's be real. So we'll happily bring you back as soon as the crowds are back. But for now, we're kind of almost going to have to let you go on the understanding that we'll bring you back when the time is appropriate. I'd like to think that's what Arsenal have done. There are a lot of rumours that Arsenal will bring him back when the crowds come back. So we'll see what happens. So hopefully I've covered it a bit more for you guys. Okay, so some people say Ali D says 4th. Carter says 6th. Okay, my man says 4th. Okay, people are a little bit more enthusiastic than I thought. 4th, top 4th, 4th. Angela says, we now have the power. Come on, Ozil, we can make it. I admire your support of Mesut Ozil. That's all I can say. You've got more patience than I do. I can see the theory that you now have someone defensively that can cover Mesut Ozil to allow him to do his thing. I still say no, thank you. 5th, closely missing out on 4th. Interesting. As long as the best players are in their natural position, we might have a chance of cracking top 4. Chig, I feel Ozil might be the puzzle. We always do. We always do, you're saying, until he comes in and shows why he's not. But don't worry, brother. I ain't going to shit on your opinion. It is your opinion. 6th, because we haven't fixed everything. Yeah, I hear. Oh, you calm down now. Mr. You have to suck someone off. That's why I didn't block you. None one of those, though, I will. I'm a reasonable guy. Let's not take the piss, though. But we'll finish 4th or 5th. Joanne says 5th. Dancy says fucking 8th. Nah, we're a better team. Oh, are we? See, we weakened our team with Martinez, in my opinion, selling him. But I do think we're a better team now that we have Partey. So we have Partey, we have Gabriel. I think with those two guys in particular, we have a better team. So whilst I won't tell you what I'm gonna give my final position just yet, I think we'll finish higher than 8th. That much I will say. Chig, don't worry, he'll be back when the fans are back. I think so as well. I don't know about friends, youth. Let's just say I haven't blocked you yet. I sense I probably will end up doing so. Chig, is it true that we can continue to buy players from the Championship? Complete the team from the Championship, right back, left back, or the striker? We can until the 16th. We could domestically still buy until the 16th. Let me think about that one and I'll get back to you. Ask me again tomorrow to remind me. 6th, 4th, 6th. All right, cool. Well, in that case, I suppose that's all else to say, really. For me, I'm happy, man. If you didn't catch the show, if you didn't catch the beginning of the show, I'm so happy Arsenal have got what I think is a crucial signing over the line. We've needed a guy like this for so long, and we've got it. Now it's about what we do and how we build the team, because now we've effectively got our spine. You can argue the spine's not great, but we've got our spine. We've got Aubameyang has just signed a new deal. We've got a 4-year deal, for me, a world-class midfielder in Thomas Partey. You've got an excellent prospect at the back with Gabriel. And then people keep telling me that Leno is amazing. So there's your spine. How long have we needed a spine? You've got your spine now. So let's see what happens. For those people asking about Saliba, as things stand, Saliba is still at the club. There wasn't a lot of stories in the end linking Saliba with a move. I know that there was up until today, but during the day there was nothing really that stood out about Saliba. He still, I suppose, could move domestically until the 16th, but for some reason, I don't think that will happen. So I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. Ramon says, Chig, your show is the best, bro. Very engaging. I try to be. Even when you got two people like this arguing and shit in the chat, or you got youth views telling me I'm sucking people off. I try to be. I try to be until somebody takes the piss. Let's put it that way. But thank you, Ramon. I appreciate that. All right. Well, in that case, let me leave you guys to it. Obviously, it's almost midnight here. But Arsenal have signed, for me, a world-class midfielder in Thomas Partey for £45 million on a 4-year deal that, as far as I know there are different figures out there, is worth £200,000 a week pre-tax. And welcome to Arsenal, Thomas Partey. See ya.